everybody, it's Nick. I was thinking long and hard actually about how to mark this International Women's Day, and what I've done, what I'm going to do is try and lend my voice to all of those women that still don't have a voice in my attempts to mark this day. So I've never thought of myself as a white privileged woman until a few months ago when I spoke to some people who'd had very different upbringings to me, and I realised that actually that's what I am. So I'm the youngest of 4 girls, and I've been brought up since the day I could take breath, being free and being empowered to make my own decisions. If anything, we were, are you sure you want to get married? Anything that would clip our wings or that would potentially hold us back, or would mould us into being somebody we didn't really want to be. My father was, a massive advocate of empowering us as girls and making sure that his girls knew that they could do absolutely anything that anybody else could, especially men. And in actual fact, one of the things that he was most proud of was the fact that he had 4 girls. And, he didn't have a problem at all with not having a son. He was incredibly proud of that. And my mum, bless her, I don't think she knew it, but actually she was really quite an early day feminist for her time back in the 50s and 60s. So that's where I came from. So I took a lot of that for granted, and I spent most of my life thinking that actually I came from quite a poor working class background, but actually I came from an incredibly rich and empowered background, and in that way I was certainly so privileged, so much so than what I am starting to learn about around me now. So there are so many different examples. Where do I start? So particularly in the Asian and Black communities, I'm learning about so much in terms of the lack of freedom and the lack of empowerment, about arranged marriages still, about girls not having the same expectations or even access to education, really not having freedom of choice. I'm feeling incredibly trapped and not knowing what to do. And actually the people that are trapping them and the people that are taking away the freedom and the people that are meant to give it are the people that are meant to support them. It's their families. To even further back than that, where there are just women being treated completely and utterly inhumanely, and mothers allowing their children to be held down, and female genital mutilation being carried out on them because of some ancient, brutal, cultural, ridiculous belief system. And I do call it that. It's absolutely barbaric and horrific and completely and utterly unacceptable in anybody's world. Through to women who are being stolen or sold and forced into, slave trade and the sex trade, and have absolutely no voice or no choice, or nobody that's looking for them, through to the people and the women that I see that are homeless, through to the young females who are either abused or feel that the only way they can be of value or be accepted is to actually give what they're being asked for, particularly from a sexual perspective. To all of those people, and I think I could go on with so many examples of abuses that we are still seeing and violations against females. It is unbelievable. So I guess I want to be able to lend this voice in any way, shape I can to those that do not have this voice, because I am blessed to have it, and I want to be able to use it because I can. And interestingly, the reason I can is because the person who actually gave me this really, really strong voice about female empowerment was actually my father. Okay, because that's what he believed in, and he absolutely believed in the empowerment of females. And I just wanted to finish on one last example that sticks in my head. I'll try and say it without crying. But the one example, which is from the 1950s, was my mum being forced to defend her best friend from being called a slut because she'd been forced by her parents to have an abortion. And she lay sobbing in my mum's arms in the toilets. And the people who were calling her those names weren't men, they were other women. Okay, so I'm just calling out there and saying, actually, let's just all be careful of all of our judgments of what we think. And that always sticks in my head, that my mum told me that. And I'm so proud of my mum that she stepped in and she did defend her best friend. And even back then in the 1950s, she knew that that was wrong and that was not okay. And so here's my voice, and to every single woman out there who hasn't even got the chance to really think about equality because they are so far away. They have so many steps to take. Let's keep fighting the good fight, okay? Let's keep calling this stuff out. Let's keep the conversation going till eventually, somewhere, those little girls aren't held down and don't have female genital mutilation done to them. And those young girls aren't forced into marriage and effectively raped and used as domestic slaves for the rest of their lives. And that women, all women everywhere, have the right and the freedom to make their choices, to have their education, to do what they like for the better in their lives. Yeah, and that is quite a rant today. And I would like to use my voice in that way on International Women's Day to say, you know, we've still got a long way to go on some really basic issues here. So let's keep going. Thanks for listening. Bye.